The Global Briefing on SAfm.
It's 6:24. Let's get straight into it. And I must say, this is certainly a move many would not have seen coming a month ago. China has joined high-level economic talks hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron ahead of next week's G7 summit, a summit that China is not a part of. Dr. Joan Swart, research and military science at the University of Stellenbosch, joins us. Dr. Swart, good morning to you. So this G7 summit is often one that China would not necessarily be part of. So what do we make of this coming together of the Chinese and the French?
Yeah, you look, Cathy, good morning to you, and it's great to be here. For me, it wasn't unexpected to hear it or surprising, but it is a positive signal. Macron is actually convening this meeting, and he invited China, and I think he met with Xi about a month ago, and he has always thought that Europe should be able to engage Washington, Beijing, Moscow, even New Delhi and others according to European interest rather than exclusively through the EU bloc logic. So therefore, I don't think it's very unexpected, but it is a good signal. As we all know, there are at the moment ongoing tensions between China and the United States, China and parts of Europe. So not all of Europe agrees with this move. And then there are, of course, wider debates about the global economic order and where it's moving to in the future. But there's a common lesson in this, and I wish they would also extend this through to Russia, but their experience with Russia has shown them that dependence on a single partner can create strategic vulnerabilities. And it's a lesson for us in there as well. So countries do not have the luxury of choosing between economics or geopolitics. You've got to try and straddle both. So we should continue diversifying our partnerships while avoiding excessive dependence on any single partner or any single bloc.
Absolutely. And then we're going to move on to a Bangkok court that has sentenced two men to death for the 2015 Erawan Shrine bombing. It was Thailand's deadliest terror attack, which left 20 people dead and more than 100 injured. Do you think that Southeast Asia is now better prepared than it was 11 ago for what we see as transnational, very tech-savvy extremist networks?
I would honestly go towards saying no, I don't think so. This case has been, 11 years, or this event happened 11 years ago. So they took 11 years to get to the sentencing, which is not all that strange because it does involve international networks, as you mentioned, intelligence information, multiple jurisdictions, and a very high evidentiary standard in terms of terrorism. But the worrying thing is that it does bring up broader security issues, and many of them remain unresolved about this attack. For instance, motive. Terrorism is defined as violence or the threat of violence for political means. And these two men are Uyghurs, and they haven't, as far as I know, nobody has figured out their exact motive yet, which is a problem. But Southeast Asia continues to face threats from extremist networks and foreign fighters and organized crime linkages and also cross-border security challenges. So we need to then also keep in mind that these organizations often adapt rather than disappear. So they can kind of stay in limbo for 5 years, 10 years or so before they before they reorganize themselves and do an attack again. And again, there's also a lesson for us. We need to remember that effective security begins with effective intelligence, and I can't stress this enough. So we should strengthen our intelligence coordination, border security, and institutional capacity. And this is all the law enforcement, the SANDF, the Justice Department, and so on, before threats become crises.
Yeah, Dr. Joan Swart, we're going to have to leave it there for this morning. A researcher in military science at the University of Stellenbosch.